You open up YouTube and the first thing you see is Hamza on holiday again, or Iman Gadzi making more millions, or Andrew Tate buying yet another supercar.
What colour's your Bugatti?
You've been grafting for just as long, if not longer, than Hamza and Iman, and yet no supercars, no fancy holidays, no expensive watches, no big bank balance. You've made some progress, but nowhere near as much as they have over the past couple years. I must be an idiot, you say to yourself. They make it look so easy. And if it's that easy, and yet still I can't do it, then the only reasonable answer is that I'm an idiot, a failure. The shame eats you. I'm getting old, you tell yourself. I'm running out of time. My birthday is on the 26th of August. And one day in August, just before my 20th birthday, I met an uncle in the gym. And he was telling his friends how impressed he was that such a young man was so consistent in his training. And all I could think of in my head, bro, was, bruv, I'm old. I turned 20 in a couple of weeks. I look back at my younger self now as a 30-something-year-old man and laugh. But guess what? I still feel old. I was at the fish and chip shop ordering food for my parents when the shop owner, a gentleman in his early 40s, got into conversation with me. He asked me midway through our chat how old I was, and I answered that I was 32. He said, and I quote, "If you don't mind me saying, bro, you're just a baby." And that's when it hit me. No matter how young you actually are, you will always feel old. And this is a trick from Shaitan. He wants you to feel this way so you can lose hope. There's no time left for me to achieve what I want to achieve. I may as well just give up now. And the moment you give up, that's when you will fall victim to all sorts of vices, gambling, alcohol, drugs, prostitutes, on and on and on. If you can relate to anything you've just listened to, then what remains of this video is for you. First off, progress is not going to happen at the speed you want it to. This will feel very frustrating. I personally first got into business and entrepreneurship at the age of 25 after I had been sacked from my job as an English teacher. My first few years as an entrepreneur was unlike most. I was very successful and fast. The most I had ever made per month before this was £2,500. And after just a few months in business, I was clearing 10k a month. And a few months after that, I was clearing 20k a month. It was wild. Imagine, the most you've ever made is £2 a month. And all of a sudden you're 10xing that. How would you feel 10xing your current income now like that? We were constantly selling out of stock of the product I was selling. And I never forgot one day in particular. We'd been out of stock for a couple of weeks and I was finally ready to turn the tap back on and start taking sales. I inputted the maximum number of units we had for sale on the website and sent a text message and email to all of our customers informing them that we were indeed back in stock. What happened next was wild. All I heard from my phone was ding, 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 ding. Because so many orders were coming through so fast, my phone notification bell sound literally couldn't keep up. It was exhilarating. In just 1 hour, we had cleared £10,000 in sales at an 80% profit margin. 1 hour. That day we cleared 18.5k. The next day 6k more. The day after that 3k more. It was absolutely mind-blowing. It changes your perspective on money for life. And I quickly bought my first high-performance car, a CLS 55 AMG, took my family on holiday and generally began to live a better quality of life. This business continued printing money like a reliable cash cow for almost 4 years. And in all that time, one fatal flaw in my character began to appear. I believed I was the reason for the success of the business, that I was some type of business genius, that I had the Midas touch. I will never forget one time when I even had the audacity to say to my wife, "I don't have sympathy for broke people. Why don't they just get into buying and selling on eBay or something?" Even though I myself had never made a penny from that business model. And so, right on cue, Allah taught me a lesson, took my business away by force, and then allowed me to endure 2 of the toughest financial years of my life. Every single business I started failed. Every week was a genuine struggle to pay bills and put food on the table. And I will never forget, on one Eid morning, after 18 months of this relentless financial struggle, I was standing in the shower, performing my Eid ghusl, and began to cry like a baby because I didn't have enough money to buy my children presents. I felt like a complete and utter failure of a father, husband, and man. It's bad enough feeling like a failure when you're single and have no one relying upon you. But imagine that with a wife and children to feed who are relying upon you. It's a completely different feeling and intensity of shame that you feel. And as much as I never want to experience that again, I am grateful for that broke-ass journey I was on. It humbled me, made me extremely grateful for even the tiniest wins, and I would immediately attribute this success to Allah and give thanks to Him for it because of the verse in the Quran where He says, وَإِذْ تَأَذَّنَ رَبَّكُمْ لَإِن شَكَرْتُمْ لَأَزِيدَنَّكُمْ. And lastly, it carved into my personality a killer instinct that can only be acquired through relentless hardship that goes on and on and on for ages. You get to a point where you have lived for so long of not knowing where your next provision will come from that the fear of not knowing you are no longer afraid of. It's like an extreme tawakkul and trust that you have in Allah, knowing that He will figure it out for you and He has your back and He might take you to the edge, but He's got you. It does something to your character, bro. It's hard to explain, but people can smell this on you and they gravitate towards this, especially women. This is why women have such an aversion to men who inherited their wealth. They know that he just does not have the character to go with it. Same to you, my bro. Know that this journey of hardship you are on is ultimately for your own gain and good, and that one day you will look back and be extremely grateful for it. I know it's hard to see that right now whilst you're suffering, but trust and believe. And come back and watch this video the next time you do feel like a failure. One day, you will be grateful for this. Remember how I experienced so much financial success so fast, only for it to all be taken away and then go through a multi-year drought, despite the fact that I was a better overall businessman all those years later than when I first started. The process will take as long as it needs to. For some, that means what appears to be overnight success, like Hamza or Iman Ghazi. For others, it will be a multi-year struggle. But if you hang in there long enough, you will figure this thing out on one condition. And that brings me to the next point. Do you know what a trombone is? Do you know how to play the trombone? Do you know anyone who knows how to play a trombone? I bet there's going to be some genius in the comments. It's like,
yeah, my mate plays the trombone.
do you know what trombone oil is? You undoubtedly answered no to all 4 questions. Follow your passion, the Instagram guru said. What they forgot to add was, only if there's money in it, bruv. Every year, a few quarts of trombone oil is sold per year globally. And this is why you must never get into the trombone oil business. No matter how passionate you are about it, there's simply not enough demand for it. Warren Buffett cites an example from his childhood. He went to school with a classmate of identical intelligence and exam grades as Warren got. The classmate became a stable middle-class employee whilst Warren became a billionaire. Why? The vehicle. Some people choose tricycles, trombone oil, whilst others choose rocket ships. Investing in businesses in Warren Buffett's case. Before you continue your graft at whatever business you're grafting away at, ask yourself, is it a tricycle or is it a rocket ship? I recently explained the difference between a tricycle financial vehicle and a rocket ship financial vehicle on my most recent Mahdi Method group coaching call. Check out the link in the description to find out more. Failure in life adds another dimension to your character that women can quite literally smell. If you want to find out how you can maximize this scent on your own character, click this video right here.